the wrong button. Sorry.
I hear what you're saying about, we're not sitting on the couch just enjoying this. You have no idea how many people I've heard, complain about not going back to work or being back at work and saying, hey, I was making more money at home anyway. I just might as well be doing unemployment anyways. Like, so many young people. I'm 21 years old. And so many people are just really enjoying this.
That's the concern that we have to have. That's the struggle. Because I don't want to tell you, if you're listening to me and you're home right now through no fault of your own, and you are in bad shape economically, it's hard for with a job and tell you that I don't think you should get any help from the government, even though that assistance from the government is sort of contrary to everything I believe as a fiscal and a conservative, as a registered Republican. This is the struggle. Let's struggle through this together. Here's Bruce. Hey, Bruce, thanks very much for joining us. How are you?
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hi. Good, thanks. Appreciate your call.
I'm in the home furnishings industry, and domestic manufacturers cannot get their people to come back to work, and it's causing tremendous delays on getting furniture to the retailers.
Oh, wow.
And it is causing a lot of issues. Something that would normally take a month is now taking 3 to 4 months.
And do you think, Bruce, bottom line it for us, you think they can't get them to come back to work because people are afraid to come back to work, or they're enjoying their stimulus checks?
They're enjoying their stimulus checks.
Okay. All right. Let's see what others say. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your perspective. 800-655-Mike. Rob, you're next. Hey, Rob.
Mike, thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
It's far from enjoying a stimulus check when you need that $1,200 like oxygen to get a loaf of bread and to put some gas in the car. We can't think of the trillions and the debt, and we can't think of our grandchildren and great-grandchildren down the road have to suffer. We need to get a loaf of bread, Mike. We haven't worked in months. Nobody's enjoying a stimulus check. We're not going to get a $1,200 and say, oh, man, I got $1,200. We're desperate. To pay the water bill, it's 2 months late. To pay the electric bill, it's 3 months late. And as I say, put some groceries.
Yeah, I know, Rob. That's my struggle. You just identified here the struggle, because you also heard the 21-year-old, I hope, a minute ago, who said, hey, my friends are saying I don't want to go back to work. I'm making more money getting the government checks than I am when I worked.
And Mike, how did that mistake happen? That the checks were given more than people were earning, and they say now that that's not going to happen, which is good. I don't know how that ever could happen to make people. Oh man, I'd much rather not go back to work. I'm getting more money. That was ridiculous.
Right. Well, the reason it happened, Rob, is because the federal government was in a rush to help people who are desperate, as you just articulated. And they said, we don't have time to figure out a state-by-state formula. And so how do we try to let people stay afloat? And they said $600 across the board. But I'll give you a perfect example. My own son. My oldest son was making about $975 a week in a job at a manager of a club that he worked at. With the stimulus combined, his state unemployment and the federal check, he was making $1,100 a week. He was literally making more money to stay home. Now, thank goodness, I'd like to believe my Denise and I had a little bit of say in this. He didn't want to stay home. He has a work ethic. He has a great work ethic. And he went out and busted his butt, and he got not one but 2 jobs because he didn't want to sit home and collect $1,100 a week. Had he been any other kind of individual, and there are plenty of people in America who are completely content to stay home, he'd be home till the bitter end. He went back to work months ago. But there was a month or so in there, 2 months, whatever it was, where he was literally earning more or making more from the government than he was making at his job. A job that he loves, by the way, that is probably never coming back. And that's the other side of this. So, Rob, I hope people hear your voice, hear your plea that you need to buy a loaf of bread, you got to pay the water bill. The water company doesn't really care. Banks don't really, I mean, they're trying to help you. People still have to pay their bills. And this is a huge concern that I have. Listen, yesterday I told you how angry I got Friday night listening to Rachel Maddow on MSNBC, pontificating that we need to shut the whole country down again, shut it all down, start over, stay home, don't go to your job. She makes $7 million a year, reportedly. She doesn't care about her own personal economic situation because she doesn't need to. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.